Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer with producer Bobby helping us out as we head over to Santa Anita for a big Saturday of racing. It's opening weekend at the Santa Anita Autumn Meet. There are 5 graded stakes races on the card, and they kick off with race number 4 on Saturday, September the 27th. This one is the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile. Mike, I got to mention this real quick. Whenever I see this race pop up, it means a lot to me because this place saved my life, the City of Hope. Back in 2010, I was not doing very well. I had to go into City of Hope for a month. And all throughout November, they put me back together. They fixed me back up. And now I am here. I actually had to go yesterday for one of my yearly checkups at City of Hope. So this race means a little something to me when I see it each and every year.
Nice. I like that story. Maybe we'll get you a nice priced winner here too to make it even better.
Absolutely. Let's see how Timeform US thinks this pace projector will shape up. I mean, it's all going to come down to Johannes. Which version of Johannes are we going to get, Mike? The horse who last year was so good, was the runner-up in the Breeders' Cup Mile, or the horse who went over to Saratoga, then he had some trouble early in the race, and I think you can just put a line right through that start.
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously things haven't been going great for him so far this year. He got off to a really late start at Saratoga, and then, early trouble or not in that race, didn't run that well. We'll see if he gets back on track here. I think it's pretty clear that if he gets back on track and runs to his 2024 form, his field's in big trouble.
I almost saw this as 2 races, Mike, because I think the rest of the field is kind of evenly matched if you took Johannes out of here. You could probably make cases for almost everyone else in the field, but if he shows up with even like a B plus effort, I think they're all going to be running for second. Let's meet the field here for the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile. We start out with Zio Joe. It was one of the 3 horses in the Del Mar Mile. Zio Joe didn't run as well that day, but I thought both Almendares and Cabo Spirit kind of ran their races. Almendari was up a little closer than normal in that race, Mike, and he didn't have quite as much late punch. You can see the winner here, Formidable Man, who's just a little bit better than this group, and he would be a heavy favorite if he were in here too.
Yeah, I mean, fair to say that Zio Joe's better than the effort that we watched there in the Del Mar Mile. He just didn't run well in that race.
Now,
For whatever reason, but his prior form is better than that. I do like his running style for this race too, because there's a chance this pace gets a little bit competitive, and I think he can find himself in the right spot. I do question whether or not he's good enough. I mean, certainly probably isn't good enough if Johannes shows up here, but I still wonder if he's good enough, even if some of the others do. Gino, I mean, I think he's going to get a good trip here, and he's a great price, but that last race is concerning. He didn't run well in there.
not at all. He does have a couple of those races that are very close to winning at a level like this, but that's the key, right? Can he sit a trip? In my head, I'm kind of projecting maybe third down on the inside, like maybe sitting inside of Johannes or trying to kind of make that move with Johannes before he does. That would be a really nice spot for him, and maybe you'll get a run for your money on a horse who hasn't been too far off with the best effort. Does he have another one of those in there? Scooby Quando feels like the horse is kind of overmatched in this field. Mike, could you build a case for the 2 in here?
No, I mean, he looks like the longest shot on the board, and that's probably deservedly so. He doesn't have any races that are going to make him good enough to beat this field.
No. Johannes, 7 for 7 at Santa Anita. Last year, he was your 2024 Breeders' Cup Mile runner-up, Grade 1 winner, 5-time graded stakes winner. I think the rest of the field, you have Cabo Spirit, who has like 4, and then we don't really even have other graded stakes winners in this field. So he does just stand out on class. But it's always concerning when a horse who's going to be a very short price favorite is coming off of a race like last time, Mike. I think he does have legitimate excuses. Bobby has this replay for us, and we can actually show the beginning of the race where going into the first turn, he has a ton of trouble. He's bumping around, he gets shut off, he gets kind of steadied, and he backs up. It's just not a very good first 100 yards for him out of the gate.
He has legit trouble early in this race. The bump at the start probably, I guess, caused it to happen, and then Rispoli just took him under a big hold there. I mean, we could have let that replay even run further into the first turn. I mean, he was in a ton of traffic. He kept losing position, even all the way around the first turn. He's just checking and steadying, and he winds up last. Here's the stretch run where, let's be honest, I know there was a lot of early trouble here, but he doesn't do anything in this race. He just doesn't fire at all. So I guess that could be concerning, more so when it's combined with the fact that this horse was legitimately one of the best turf milers in the country last year. He didn't even get started until August this year, and then he shows up and he runs that race. I guess those things are concerning when he's a really short price. But again, he did have an excuse last time, and if he gets back to form here, he's going to win this race.
And what's tough too is there isn't like that obvious other horse in here.
That's
right? There's a couple others that you can look at, but it's not like, oh, if it's not Johannes, there's a really solid second choice we can go to. I mean,
right.
you kind of poke holes in a few of the others, you make cases for others, but if he does show back up with any of those races last year, they're so good. He'd only been that far back one other time too. He likes to be much closer in the race, like mid pack, and he can sit closer. So I'd imagine they try to do that and get him more involved early. And second start off the bench, I mean, he could bounce right back, win this race, and then send himself up nicely for the Breeders' Cup. And we'll probably forget all about that race at Saratoga, but we'll see if he can bounce back to last year's form. We move to Final Boss, one of the quicker in here, Mike. I mean, on paper, it looks like you got Final Boss, Cabo Spirit. Final Boss might even be a little quicker than Cabo Spirit. He won at a mile 2 starts back in a race that wasn't a stakes race, but was as good as a stakes race when he beat horses like Gold Phoenix and Astronomer there. And I think for him getting out front, if he was able to clear the field, that's probably his best chances of winning this race.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they probably do want to be aggressive here. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he can outrun Cabo Spirit to the lead, because Cabo Spirit is pretty clearly at this stage of his career, he's a speed horse. They want to be on the lead with him too. So we'll see how these riders decide to play it. I understand why they tried to stretch this horse all the way out last time, because sometimes when you start going the marathon distances, especially at the greatest stakes level, the competition just isn't that tough. Those fields usually aren't as deep. So they took a shot. He ran fine in there. The cutback's going to work for this horse. And he's in good form, actually. I mean, I think he's a pretty dangerous horse in here if he can get the right trip.
You have a lot of this field that are in those like mid 90s buyer speed figures, and that's right where he is too. Final Boss, you see a couple starts back, 96 right there when he wins that race. So what a lot of these horses are kind of living in that range. As we move to Almendaris, he comes off of a runner-up effort in the Del Mar Mile that we showed you. He had a big win in the Wicker a couple starts back. That race on paper just sort of felt like it was going to set up really well for him, and it did. He does have a couple of the higher speed figures in this race, Mike, so he has one of the higher ceilings here, but he is actually still looking for his first graded stakes win. I mean, you look at his last 8 races, though, in really nice form. A couple seconds in graded stakes races. He has a stakes win. So he is in nice form, but he still has to prove he can win one of these big ones.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. He's in good form. And I really liked his Wicker win 2 starts back. I mean, I just thought he did get a really good trip in that race overall, but I just thought he was much the best in that race. It was such an easy win, and he, got another triple-digit buyer for it. So that's a good sign. The Del Mar Mile last time, he wasn't going to beat Formidable Man anyway. I didn't love the tactics there from his rider to sort of stay inside around the final turn and not get this horse into the clear. It allowed Formidable Man to get all the momentum on him. Again, he wasn't going to beat him anyway, but I didn't really love that ride. I think this horse is in really good form. He ran great in this race last year when he was second to Johannes, and I think he could sort of repeat that effort here.
Cabo Spirit rounds out the field. This horse was good early in his career. Then he really tailed off form for a while. Mike, you and I have talked about him a couple times recently, and he has bounced back into form. He's just so cool. Look at his last 5 races. He's a grade 3 winner, second in grade 2s, a couple thirds in grade 3s. He's hit the board in all of them. He fights. You know what you're going to get from him. He wants to go to the lead. He can sit just off if need be, but he really does his best work on the front end. And he's just a cool horse who he seems like he outruns his odds and he punches up a lot of times.
That's a great way to put it. He's just a really cool horse, and you know what you're going to get out of him. He always shows up. Listen, his Del Mar Mile last time, my take on it is just wasn't good enough. That pace was not fast. He made an easy lead, and he's supposed to be, in my opinion, a little bit more competitive there, and he really wasn't. So, whatever. It's a typical race for this horse, though. I think Final Bosses really could complicate things for Cabo Spirit, because I do think he wants to be on the lead, and maybe that horse makes it tough for him. I like this horse a lot. I have a lot of respect for him. I'm not betting him in this race.
Let's take a look at selections for the City of Hope Mile. And Mike, Johannes is hands down the horse to beat in here. If he bounces back, he's going to be really tough. I think this is why they put this early on the card, too, because they're expecting this to be a race probably won by Johannes with a chalky result. How'd you stack him up after Johannes?
Listen, I'll admit, I probably spent even maybe a little bit too much time trying to make cases for other horses and just taking a shot against Johannes in here. And I ultimately just couldn't get there. His last race wasn't great, but he did have trouble. And if he just bounces back to anything close to his best race, I just think he's going to win here. Ultimately, I decided I'm not going to bet against him, so I'm not going to pick against him.
3, 5, 4, 6 for Mike. I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 6.
Okay.
Zio Joe owes you and me one race somewhere down the line, Mike.
Yes.
We've had him a couple times when he was big prices underneath that kill row. I still have nightmares about
Yep.
that one. Maybe he can sit back, sit third, and just fall into a really nice spot in here. I'll put him on top because I didn't really love any of the others, and I do think Johannes is the horse to beat. But whoever you play, however you play them, we wish you the best of luck.